Everyone. So we need to talk about Mark Scheifele. Mark Scheifele, I think, is the most underrated player in the entire NHL, and it's really not even close. Um, why this guy is not recognized as the superstar that he is beyond me. Maybe it's because he plays in Winnipeg, and Winnipeg's not a huge market. They don't get a lot of national TV time, um, and it's not like he's playing in New York or LA or Boston or Toronto or Montreal, somewhere like that, where it's a massive market, and he'd be plastered um, all over the national television scene and NHL.com if he played in a market like that. But he doesn't. He plays in Winnipeg, so he kind of flies under the radar. But people do not realize how good this kid is. Um, I think he is up there with guys like Giroux, Stamkos, Tavares. That next level of center. He's not up there with Crosby and McDavid. Those two are in a league of their own. Franchise generational players, just completely miles ahead of everyone else. But that next level of elite franchise player, Mark Scheifele belongs in that level of with those names. Um, he's up there with Giroux. He's up there with Tavares and Stamkos and Kucherov, and he's better than Nick Backstrom. He's better than, I think, Kuznetsov in Washington. He's up there with guys like Patrice Bergeron. It's Andrei Kopitar. He is absolutely on that level with those guys. Yet he does not receive any of the publicity that those guys do, and I think that's why he's the most underrated player in the league. Um, Another thing that's hurting him is he hasn't been able to play full seasons. He's missed games with injuries each of the last 3 years, which he's really have been his breakout years, and he's only played the full 82 games once, and that was a few years ago before he really broke out. So the injury situation isn't helping him either, but he's really been incredible in these playoffs, and uh, he's finally starting to get some of that recognition that he deserves. They're talking because Winnipeg is now in the conference final. He leads the playoffs in goals. He has a chance if Winnipeg can extend their playoff life a little bit. He has a chance to tie or break the record for most goals in a single postseason. He's finally starting to get a little bit of that recognition that he deserves, but I don't think it's nearly enough, and it's coming too late. He's been this good for a while now. He had an incredible season this year when he was on the ice, and he's just been unreal in the playoffs. Really, really good in the playoffs. And the best thing is he's only 25 years old, so he's still getting better. There's no, he's gonna keep improving from this point out. But when you look at Scheifele's stats, as you can see, he's only 25. This season was, I would say, his best season as an NHLer, and it would have been better had he not missed so much time. But in the regular season, he only played 60 games, but he was a point per game player with 60 points. He had 23 goals and 37 assists and was plus 19. He's also very good defensively and in his own end as well. He is not a guy who just puts up points and then kind of disappears in the defensive zone. He's very good in the defensive zone as well. And if he had played a full season, 82 games, I think he would have been better than a point per game and probably have had 90 to 95 points this year. In the playoffs have really been where he's been shining, and he's been on the national television scale now, and people are starting to figure out just how good he is. In 16 playoff games this season, he has 14 goals, 6 assists for 20 points, and is +6. Like I said, he leads the NHL in playoff goals and does have a chance to break the record if Winnipeg can move on, although they're down 3-1 to Vegas. So it's not looking good for breaking the record, but still an unbelievable postseason. And really, Winnipeg has struggled in this series against Vegas with offense, and Scheifele's been one of the lone bright spots. But he's been incredible all postseason long. So that was this year. This was really a big year for him, and it would have been even better had he been able to play the full season, or at least most of it. Even if he only played 75 games, he would have, I think, been more talked about as far as how good of a player he is and how good of a season he had. But this is not the first time that he's been really, really good. 2 seasons ago, he played 71 games. He had 29 goals, 32 assists for 61 points, and was +16. That was really his breakout year 2 seasons ago. That's when he established himself as a rising star in the NHL. Last season, I think, is when he became an elite player, and he pushed himself up into that conversation with guys like Giroux and Stamkos and players like that who aren't quite on the Crosby, McDavid level elite, but that next tier down, and he's certainly in that as far as I'm concerned. Last season he had 79. He played 79 games. He had 32 goals, 50 assists, and for 82 points, and was +18. So he was better than a point per game last season, and then he was at a point per game this season. And I think had he not dealt with so many injuries, and played more games, he would have been over a point per game again this season. And now in the playoffs, he's really, really shining in the postseason. And it's time to start recognizing how good this kid is. He's only getting better. He's only 25. And when you look at his career stats so far, in 366 games played, this is just regular season, he has 113 goals, 174 assists for 287 points, and is +73. He is a superstar, and he should be treated like one. I think without a doubt he is the most underrated player in the league right now. I think that may start to change. I think he's going to start getting some more recognition. Really because of what he's done in these playoffs. That's brought a lot of eyes on him. And I think he might finally start to get the credit he deserves. But really an unbelievable player. A lot of fun to watch. One of my favorite players on the Winnipeg Jets. And it's really good to see him succeed. And I think he's just going to keep on getting better, and he will be a 90-point player next season. I am calling that right now. If he plays at least 75 games, he will be a 90-point player next season. So that's just, I want to talk about Mark Scheifele because I don't think he nearly gets the credit he deserves. So like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media, check out offthewallhockey.com. All those links are in the description below. Please help this channel grow. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Tell your friends about it. Spread the word about this channel. Almost to 150 subscribers, so let's get there. And thank you guys so much for watching. Talk to you guys soon.